Yönetimi konulu panele Boğaziçi Üniversitesi Turizm İşletmeciliği Bölümü Sürdürülebilir Turizm Yüksek Lisans Programı'na Profesör Doktor Maria Dolores Alvarez moderatörlük yapacak. Panelistlerimiz TGA Turizm Operasyon ve Geliştirme Genel Müdür Yardımcısı Sayın Doktor Elif Balcı Füsunoğlu, Malta Turizm Bakanlığı Genel Sekreteri Sayın Anthony Gert ve Zagreb Şehri Turizm Kurulu Direktörü Sayın Ivana Alilovic. I would like to welcome our guests for the panel. Thank you.
There are many challenges that we have ahead and many questions that we have. But it is important that we share experiences, that we share what we are trying to do. And for these purposes, today we have three representatives from three organizations that are managing destinations. So we have Malta, we have the Zagreb County, and we have Turkey. So I'm going to start with our first guest speaker, with Anthony Gert, who is the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry for Tourism of the Republic of Malta. Mr. Gert has had a long career within the public service, including working in various ministries in Malta. He has also represented the Republic of Malta at various meetings and organized by the European Union. So we are going to, I'm going to ask him to start sharing with us. He will share with us the experience of the Republic of Malta and the challenges it faces to develop within the principles of sustainable development.
Good afternoon, first of all, and thank you for inviting me. As you said, I'm here representing the Ministry for Tourism in Malta, and for us, I would like to start with, I would like to say that sustainability for us as a country is not a cliché anymore, it's not a buzzword. Malta is a member state of the European Union, and we're committed to deliver on sustainability. We know that uncontrolled consumption, the aim to increase economic growth, these all lead to less sustainable solutions. So for that reason, because we understand that, for example, we're committed to reach the Green Deal targets, that one of the major targets is to transform our island into a zero carbon island by 2050. The government of Malta has set up a ministry that is specifically there to ensure sustainability across the board. And I would like to say that even our manifesto, our proposals, our budgetary measures now are being aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Goals. So each and every action that we're taking is being aligned with these sustainable goals that are on top now of our agenda as a country to implement in Malta. To mention a few initiatives that Malta is currently implementing, I would like to mention that we've set a target date that is 2030, where no more ICE vehicles will be imported to our island. And the government itself, because I'm coming from the public administration, the government itself by end of 2024 will be leading by example in this sense, as we are already preparing to transform all our government fleet to electric vehicles, and we will also be introducing new principles of car sharing, carpooling, route optimization, and whatnot. We are also, as a government, investing in ways to minimize and to eliminate the use of single-use plastics. In fact, as from the 1st of this month, we installed more than 200 reverse vending machines across the island, because let's not forget to put you into the context. Malta is just 330 kilometers squared. I mean, we're small, 500,000 citizens, so we're relatively small. But we managed to install these reverse vending machines where all citizens now buying plastic bottles, they will have to pay a fee, and when they return that bottle to the reverse vending machine, they will get their money back to control waste coming from plastic. We're also, this is something maybe very interesting, we're also giving a sustainable baby box for every newborn in Malta to try to channel our younger generations to move towards more sustainable solutions. Obviously, as public administration, earlier on there was reference to encouraging women to enter into the economy. As public administration, from 2020, we introduced a new policy to encourage work-life balance, the remote working policy, and we are already seeing benefits, and we're seeing more women participating in our economy, and they are taking also more managerial roles. As I said, our economy, we don't have natural resources in Malta, we don't have mountains, we don't have rivers, and our economy is mainly based on services, on a services economy. We've been severely affected, I would say, by the pandemic. In fact, our current minister, Tourism Minister, was installed in January 2020. Just after 2 months, he had to, instead of attracting more tourists to Malta, he had to take drastic decisions to close our borders as much as possible. But the pandemic had very severe impacts on our economy, and when we were going through this at the end, then we were faced, just like all other countries, with the situation in Ukraine, which was also affecting us, being such a small island. But to counteract, during the pandemic, we came up with a long-term visionary strategy for the tourism sector, which will take us to 2030. It is based on 3 important pillars, which are recover, rethink, and revitalize. And basically, one of the important aspects is precisely sustainability. We know that there are peaks in the tourism sector, and we are doing our utmost to try to normalize the curve, to avoid peaks, because that will automatically bring with it certain investments which will put more pressure on the environment. So by normalizing the curve, that will give us the liberty and freedom to make more sustainable investments. Obviously, we are also continuously investing in our tourism product. We know that Malta enjoys 300 days of sunshine a year. But still, in the shoulder months that before were considered as shoulder months, in winter, for example, we're investing in unique experiences for tourists that decide to visit Malta. Also, we know that Malta is mainly connected by air because we are an island on the periphery of Europe. So the government took a very difficult decision in our budget that will lock energy prices. We will not see any increases in the energy prices for 2023 at least. This will give our industry players the benefit to project to ensure reasonable prices, obviously, for 2023. To conclude, we're also looking at other tourism niches like the gastronomy, like diving tourism, religion tourism. They say that in Malta we have more than 365 churches for tourists to visit. So if they had to stay for a whole year, they would enjoy one church at least per day. We're also partnering with some interesting partners like Manchester United, which is a very interesting market segment for Malta. And also we're attracting some sports organizations over to maintain certain levels. This, to wrap up, this will always be considered within, as I said, the sustainability factor.
Okay, thank you so much. We will have some time for questions, so let's go to our next guest, Ivana Alilovic. Ms. Ivana Alilovic from Croatia is a long-time director of a regional destination management organization, the Zagreb County Tourist Board. Zagreb County is one of the 21 counties and regional government units in the Republic of Croatia, and she will share with us a short presentation on her experience with the development of sustainable tourism and sustainable destination management in Zagreb County.
Welcome, guest. As a Croatian in Turkey, in Istanbul, is really a pleasure because this is my third time to come here, and I will give all good thoughts to your organization and just to thinking of sustainable tourism, not only in Turkey, not only in this part of the world, but in whole world. So I try to watch from the focus of country, because Croatia is a small country, 4 million people, who guests 20 million people through this year. So that's a lot of thinking how to be sustainable. But how to be sustainable as a Zagreb County Tourist Board is really hard, because we deal with a lot of things in continental tourism, with rural tourism, health tourism, sport tourism, gastronomy. Of course, we have great vineyards and wine roads. But what is our main principle? To be sustainable. And the Republic of Croatia is also active member of the World Tourism Organization for 30 years. That's a long time, and by cooperating with the Executive Council of UNWTO, Croatia creates a framework for high quality and more sustainable tourism on a global level. And the second World Sport Tourism Congress and the meeting of the Committee for Tourism and Sustainability, which Croatia chairs for this year, will be held in Croatia. And we are really proud of that, because our Minister of Tourism, Nikolina Brnjac, is trying to promote sustainability as a main role for tourism. And how we do that? We have a strategy, National Development Strategy until 2030. That is the main highest document in Croatia, which was elected in 2021. And one of the priority areas with the strategy goal, competitive and innovative economy. Of course, sustainable is the main reason. That's why Sustainable Tourism Development Strategy until 2030 is a document. I think that that's a main document for all tourism and management boards, how we can sustainable tourism set as an imperative and goal of the entire tourism sector. I was a member of the working group, and it was a really pleasure to see how we can develop some other things that are important to get involved and get the priority of each areas, because Croatia has the seaside. It is 97% of tourist income from the seaside it comes, but continental part is only 3%. So it is hard to get among big parties with a lot of money in Croatia and give just a word to say, okay, I would like to do that for my sustainable development. And our vision for Croatia is respecting the natural and cultural heritage and the unique identity of all regions. Like I said, we have a lot of regions and we have to promote everything. We will create a sustainable year-round tourism. I think that everybody here has a problem like that. We want to be 365-year tourism destination, and we have to work for and live, of course. And four strategy goals for development of sustainable tourism in Croatia are, like I said, year-round, more regionally based tourism, tourism with preserved environment, space and climate, competitive and innovative tourism at first, and resilient tourism. Strategic goals are networked. You have to support each other and empower each other, and that's the main goal for everybody. And how can I say something more about Zagreb County Tourist Board? We are founded in 1998 with headquarters in Zagreb. Like we said, we are regional tourist board, and the main task of the Zagreb County Tourist Board is to support, maintain, improve and promote all the county existing tourist resources and potential, and to create a strong and recognizable brand. Under our tourist board, we have 14 tourist boards in the Zagreb County. That's a lot of opinions, decisions, if you want to promote one single thing like sustainable to be. And our strategy, of course, we have a strategy of tourism for development in the Zagreb County until 2025. We will have to change it because now we have more things to do regarding our national strategy. And of course, we have strategy of the quality management in tourism. I think these kind of different operational programs for selected types of tourism are the main things how to develop and to make some other better things for resilient tourism. Of course, as Croatia is an EU member, we are next door member. This helps us to deliver the tourism for tomorrow. And we can say that the key strategy for next tour is 5S of sustainable tourism of tomorrow. Smart destination, social cultural balance, skills and talents, safety and resilience, statistic and measurability, and also I have to mention two cross-cutting initiatives, Barcelona Declaration, Better Place to Live, a better place to visit, and smart specialization platform, digitalization and safety for tourism. Of course, because we are EU country, we have possibility to get EU fund projects that increase our projective structure, and for that I think that it is important to say how many projects do we have and what kind of projects do we deal. We have one project that is called Pronacle. It is a promotion of natural and cultural heritage to develop sustainable tourism in protected areas, and we have a role as a project partner there. Also, we have one other, Eco Museum Bistra. It is not so big project, but it is important because we deal with the local people. We empower local people to empower their place of the stay. And of course, for me, the least and the best project is Horizon EU project, Knowing. This is a framework for defining climate mitigation pathways based on understanding and integrated assessment of climate impacts, adaptations, strategies, and social transformation. It is important that this is a project with 8 countries and 17 project partners with the leading partner. And what is the role of destination management organization is to formulate policies on sustainability in coherent, comprehensive and understandable measure of activities. Of course, everything that is said here is not only the main thing. I think that the main thing is sustainability, because this is the only driver of the future, not only for my county, not only for Malta, not only for Turkey, but the whole world. And we need the time to get there, but I think that this kind of thinking out loud will help us to be better. Thank you.
So, thank you. We are now to our representative from Turkey. Dr. Elif Balcı Füsunolu is the Vice General Manager of Tourism Operations and Development Division in Turkey Tourism Promotion and Development Agency. She also represents this agency at the World Tourism Organization Board of Affiliate Members. Dr. Balcı has held extensive senior and managerial positions in the Turkish and European tourism sphere. So she will be talking about Turkey's recent projects and initiatives as carried out by the agency.
Thank you very much. Öncelikle herkese merhaba. Good afternoon, distinguished guests. It's my pleasure to represent my country at this special event taking place at the Bosphorus University. We've been talking about sustainability maybe during the last 10-15 years' time. It's not the new word, but we all can say that on the other side, everything started with the COVID pandemic. During the COVID pandemic, people had, especially the countries, organizations, had more time to rethink and redesign and reshape the industries, especially the tourism industry. Therefore, I would like to start with what we have done during the pandemic and how now we are transforming it to a green transformation, a sustainable transformation strategy. As we all remember, the COVID pandemic has resulted in borders closing and millions of workers laid off, which was talked also in the morning sessions, with tourism and hospitality in the front line of the economic crisis. And the pandemic created an unusual backdrop for new strategy development of tourism, but also highlighted the opportunity and the importance of building back better, rethinking, redesigning, re-strategizing for more sustainable tourism development. And this structure brought us to create a certification program 3 years ago. We were one of the first countries in May 2020 to create a certification program to provide a safe environment for the tourists and for the staff working at the tourism properties. And by the end of the pandemic, still it's not 100% over. Our certification program is continuing, but we announced that it is going to be a program so-called Safe and Sustainable Tourism Program. And today I will be representing you what does this program mean, what is our cooperation with GSTC, but on the other side, what is our commitment as a destination for being a sustainable tourism destination. We have the Ministry of Tourism and Culture had a strategy for 2023, a master plan created in cooperation with Cappadocia University. In 2019, also TGA, the Turkish Tourism Promotion and Development Agency, was founded with a special law in July. And now we are, the last 3 years' time, acting as the Tourism Board of Turkey, cooperating and very closely working with the Ministry of Tourism and Culture. And in 2021, again, we cooperated with the university to create a sustainability atlas for the country. This atlas is a kind of a paperwork of over 90 pages, and it includes all the organic and natural sustainability elements of the country, but as well as the laws, the initiatives that are put in place by different bodies, by the presidency of the country, by different ministries, and also by the tourism industry. And now what we are doing? We do have all our strategy in terms of development, but also in terms of marketing, focusing on the sustainability principles. And at the beginning of this year, we created a totally new website under our platform, which is goturkiye.com, gosustainableturkiye.com. It is the presentation of the country's entire green experiences, sustainable activities, strategies, laws in place, and any information that is necessary for a third party who is a professional organizer or any person who is willing to come to the country but also willing to be responsible to the country. And also in 2020, by the beginning of the year, which is like the 1st of January 2022, we signed a contract with GSTC for a 3-year agreement. This is the green transformation of the tourism services and destinations of the entire country. We have, during this year, we have worked with GSTC to implement their 42-item criteria to a sustainability certification program for Turkish hotels. And the program, our criteria, has been acknowledged by the middle of the year in June. And now our program is acknowledged by GSTC. If we need to mention who is GSTC, Global Sustainable Tourism Council is an international platform which was initiated in 2007 by UNDP and UNWTO, and it's like an umbrella organization for sustainability and green initiatives because they are like the accreditation and recognition body for green destinations, EarthCheck, Travel Life, Hilton Hotels Green Program, and many other national and corporate and global programs. So while we were looking for a partner, we said that we would like to work with a partner who is more inclusive and who will be able to provide us the different aspects and different measurements, because we all talk about sustainability, but who will measure it? What is the, who can say what is more sustainable or not? So our cooperation is very successfully continuing with GSTC, and it became kind of a role model for many countries. Even we just announced the certification stage 1, we have been approached by several countries and several organizations to share our experience and expertise. And in 2022, this year, 15th of November, the Ministry of Tourism and Culture distributed a circular. This circular is an announcement for all the accommodation facilities within Turkey without any exemption of room capacity or being in pension or 5-star hotel. All the accommodation facilities, which we can now say that around 22,000 accommodation facilities, until the end of year, until 31st of December of 2023, has to have the first stage verification document, which will be given by independent certification bodies, internationally recognized certification bodies, And all the auditors are having a training given by GSTC experts. So it's an independent and transparent certification process, but the regulations and the control has been made by the government and by TGA. Of course, as I said, certification is just one element of it. We as the country, we have a sustainable tourism approach at first. So the natural resource management, sustainable management of the tourism destinations and the country and our tourism strategies, the cultural management, the socio-economic management, environmental sustainability, UNDP goals, and numerous other international conventions are our roadmap, as also mentioned by my colleagues from Malta and Zagreb. We have been saying that, of course, we need the transformation for our hotels, for our tourism services and infrastructure, like all the other countries. But we are proud to say, as a country, we are naturally, organically sustainable with our geography, with our culture, with our history. And we have a source of pride. We are one of the #1 countries with more blue flag beaches, which is 531 beaches at the moment. We have already, without any governmental initiative, 473 Green Star accommodation facilities. We have 100 Travel Life certified hotels, 8 travel agencies which has the Travel Life certification, 116 Green Key accommodation facilities, and 9 accommodation facilities with the Green Globe certification. And here maybe I have to mention a little bit more about the Green Star, which was the initiative of the Ministry of Tourism and Culture in collaboration with the Ministry of Energy. So this was also the government's initiative, which was many years ago started about the green transformation and the sustainability. And of course, as the 4th most visited country in Europe and 6th in the world according to UNWTO's barometer, we have also highlights in sustainable tourism. We have 2 villages last year have been recognized by UNWTO as the best tourism villages, because while transforming our tourism infrastructure, we are all the destinations are trying to create new tourism products, new tourism experiences as destinations that are organic, that are natural already. Of course, the cycling tourism is one of the important experience and also opportunities for transportation for green tourism. We are very proud to be within 2 roads of the Eurovelo 8 and 13, and especially Izmir very well connects the ancient cities and the cycling route. And also Bodrum, Bites is last year acknowledged one of the best green destinations, 100 sustainable tourism destinations last year. So this is a transformation. We all have commitments until year 2030. And when we start in 2008, already the ministry started with the Green Star. And 2019, Turkish government announced zero waste regulation, which applies to many of the accommodation facilities and other services. We are, of course, one of the parties signing the Paris Agreement. Our collaboration started already with GSTC in 2021 and also continuing as collaboration. And we, as I said, there are several bodies acknowledged and recognized by GSTC, but it is the first government in the world signing such an inclusive program with GSTC. All other programs are destination-based or by some associations, so they are some volunteer efforts rather than being a compulsory regulation. But with Turkey's program, it is compulsory. It is mandatory for any accommodation to have this document. Otherwise, they cannot welcome any single guest. And of course, all those efforts will help us to create our circular economy principles. So I mentioned that now the program has been marked and also promoted as safe and sustainable tourism program. And our roadmap until 2030 is, today we announced with the circular by the ministry, the 30% of the GSTC criteria, which is 14 criteria, has to apply all the accommodation facilities by the end of 2023. And then we will have two milestone times. Within 2 years' time, the 70% of the criteria will apply to accommodation facilities, and until the end of 2030, all the accommodation facilities will have to have the 100% GSTC compliance. But even today, we have hotels. This morning also Nur from Divan was mentioning that our big hotels already started having the GSTC certification. I can say that today we have more than 80 hotels with full certification, and we will be also promoting them more actively. Of course, when we talk about sustainability, we all mentioned about all those pillars, which also helps our country to also actively create a circular economy strategy. And just to give an example how we manage such a program, because when I say 22,000 certifications within 1 year, it's not an easy task. But when the pandemic started, and it is still active today, we have over 12,000 safe tourism certificates active. All are provided with QR codes, and each certificate is for 2-month period valid. Each 2 months, every 2 months, the hotels have to, or other tourism services have to apply for the new document. And of course, GSTC document will be valid for 1 year. So we, at the same time, we are also very actively promoting our destination as a sustainable and green tourism destination. Our digital tourism platform, Go Turkey, consists of 50 sustainable tourism experiences. What we do about that is we created, we rediscovered, actually we did not create, but we rediscovered the green tourism experiences, the gastronomic roads, the bird watching. We have already so many richnesses which provides that, but on the other side, when it comes to MICE activities or any other activity, the way of doing the traditional tourism, we are also providing information how they can continue having their experience in a more sustainable way. So this is actually two aspects that we do. And as I mentioned also, we have our historic monuments and also cultural elements that make Turkey an pioneer and leader sustainable destination. And we have also 21 Chitta slow cities around the country. Support tourism, as again, as mentioned, very important. And we are creating routes in cooperation with the local authorities. And we are one of the, again, leading destinations when it comes to UNESCO labeling. Also, in the morning, it was mentioned, we have created an initiative that is consisting of cooperation with 81 cities of the country, with all cities, working in cooperation with the governors, municipalities, chamber of commerces, and hotel unions, and all other parties, travel agencies in all cities. We have now 81 city tourism boards, we call them. They will be transferred to DMOs within the short, mid, and long-term future, depending on the destination's readiness. But it is a multi-stakeholder work in cooperation with the central government, with the tourism promotion body, and stakeholders of each destination. We are organizing meetings every 2 months in all cities. Now, all of those cities have the target of having their unique social media accounts, Instagram accounts, until the end of the year. Already we have 67 cities with their Go Adana, Gessen Adana, Go Konya, Gessen Konya kind of accounts, because Go Turkey is our brand, and we created for all of them the same standard Instagram accounts, and some of them are managed by the TGA with professional social media agencies, and some of them are managed already by the city tourism boards, and we are providing them the training and consultancy on how they can manage their social media accounts, how they can organize local events, how they can start promoting their destination, and how they can become small TGAs in all cities of the country. We believe that it is very important to have such a structure in place when we are transforming also our destinations as sustainable destinations, because our GSTC collaboration is also including the destination certification and also all the other tourism services certification. Before I finish my words, I just would like to show you an example of our new promotional movie, which is Naturally Turkey. We are very proud to say that we are a sustainable destination, and we will finalize our sustainability transformation within the coming years. Thank you very much.
Very much. We have not so much time for questions, so I'm going to ask you to be brief, please, with the answers. So I'm going to start with one question for each of our guests, and if we have time, we will take questions from the audience. So let's start with Malta. So within the Republic of Malta, of course, you have more than one island. I mean, Gozo and Comino are also part of it. So looking at your strategic plan, I saw that Gozo is positioned as a lower volume tourism destination, and in fact, I mean, you have had some success in getting some awards specifically for Gozo. So I would like to ask about what is the difference in the way that you are managing this destination to maybe the larger Malta island destination. So if you are talking about a lower volume destination, what is it that you are trying to do differently in that destination?
Away, but as a separate island, we're trying to market the Maltese Tourism Authority. By the way, let's not forget that Gozo has its own ministry. There's a ministry specifically for Gozo, which is responsible for Gozo, and there are also associations coming from Gozo, which are aimed for to market Gozo. But as a central tourism authority, we try to market Gozo on its own, as a destination on its own. Obviously, it's not easy to do that because the size of the island is what it is. I mean, there are only 30,000 people or even less living in Gozo. But one of our initiatives is, because Malta is being at the center of the Mediterranean, attracts many cruise liners, for example, in summer. We're trying to market Gozo as a unique destination also for these cruise liners. In terms of sustainability, then on the other hand, we have a strategy which is specifically for Gozo, and that is aiming to make the island of Gozo, carbon neutral by 2030. We have already plans, we have started plans already to make Gozo independent in terms of energy demand by that date, and there are several initiatives which are aiming to make Gozo an eco-island by 2030. So yes, we need to invest more in terms of this aspect, but we are doing quite well in that aspect as well.
Ivana, let me ask you. So I was interested in you mentioning the next tour and the Barcelona Declaration. So can you tell us briefly a little bit about, in practice, what does this mean for Zagreb for your county tourism board? And I mean, in practice, what is it that this is actually entailing?
Thank you on your question. Of course, the declaration in Barcelona is really important because the aim of this declaration is to make coherent path with tourism and cultural heritage. Of course, that cannot be done without help of funds or money. And the main goal of this kind of declaration is to make impact and contribute to the local citizens. Of course, in Zagreb County, we have a lot of focus on cultural heritage. I can tell that the most important thing is that in our county we are a rural place, and we have 14,000 of family farms, which are making some products that are under cultural heritage. And that is important part of gastronomy. So if you make and add a value on tourism by cultural heritage and contribute with the local people, you have a really good things to start and be sustainable. Of course, membership in Nextdoor and each organization that is so important for tourist board is really big thing, because then you are on the main path with expanding your projects, make better political decisions. And of course, I think that the main goal is not to talk about sustainability, is to do it. So when I heard all those things about Turkey and everything that you are doing, I'm really impressed. So you're doing a great job.
Thank you. And so the last question from me. So you are introducing this certification for accommodations that is going to be compulsory, at least part of it, until the end of December. So there's a little bit of the stick rather than the carrot approach here, but maybe is there a carrot, or how is the industry actually approaching, and what are some of the arguments that you are using to convince them that it is in their best interest to use it?
Actually, for both certification programs, it is together, the carrot and the stick, and at the back side, all those criteria, cooperation, and the necessity of, or the, the certification, the green transformation have been discussed with hotelier associations and together with the industry. So industry is aware that this is not something nice to have. This is going to be the must. So we all know that, I mean, with all those certifications, with, for instance, Travel Life, TUI was a couple of years ago saying that I will not work with any hotels without Travel Life certification. So, I mean, this is the nature of the business, because when it is only the carrot, you cannot, as a government, provide 100% transformation. When we say transformation, then there has to be the regulation. I think behind the success of our safe tourism program, and now with this program, will be the regulations made by the government is a really very important element. But on the other side, when it comes to the nice to have and the carrot side, we open our certification program with the 3 pillars. The 3 tiers. We are not saying that only the stage 1 is available. Stage 1 is compulsory. But any hotel that is willing to have the 2nd stage or the 3rd stage, they are more than welcome. And we will be cooperating with them more to promote them. For instance, there's already a certain page within Go Turkey dedicated with GSTC certified hotels. And again, today it was mentioned about our the ministry's cycling tourism, cycling-friendly hotels. They have an also dedicated page. This is a page that has been visited more than 125 million visitors per year. So having a dedicated page there is a very nice carrot. And also we will be cooperating further, doing more promotional activities with the certified hotels. But in order to be able to say that our country, our tourism product, our destinations are 100% certified, we cannot just wait for the volunteers to have it. It has to include a regulation, which is already happening all around. I mean, with the commerce, with investment, this is with all the agreements, it's been confirmed that all the governments, all the stakeholders, all the industries should have the necessary actions. Some will be the pioneers, the leaders, and some will be doing it at the last. But in any way, we all are in the same ship, and we have to do it all together. Thank you.
So we have time for 1 or 2 questions. Yes. Microphone. Yeah.
Hello. This is Hasan Yeşilyurt. I'm a board member of Akkomarka Restaurant Community. I'd like to ask a question to Elif Hanım. Gastronomy is one of the most powerful parts of tourism, and we have lots of gastronomic facilities in Turkey are doing some sustainability projects, which our group also are doing some sustainability projects. Will that be a certificate program like Green Restaurant or Sustainable Restaurant in Turkey? Thank you.
With the Safe Tourism program, so restaurants are already part of it, and we have been working, and today also we talked even in the morning with Kaya Başkan. We have it in the roadmap. GSTC doesn't have restaurant certification. Together with them or without them, it is in our roadmap.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking, and thank you, for having this awareness.
Other questions? Okay, so, yes, there's the, okay.
I'm Koran Asurer, Hilton Dalaman, Sarıgerme, Quality Manager. Thank you very much for your sharing. I want to ask a question to Elif Hanım. In pandemic period, open buffet converted is by the staff service. But end of the pandemic in this year is a change. It's the last before process. In sustainability program, this conversion will be is a half-boat or another process.
The GSTC criteria, because as I mentioned, we have worked on several different certification programs. And each hotel, each facility has different dynamics, different ways of doing business and serving to their guests. What we have chosen to continue is one of the strict ones in the market, one of the tough ones, but at the other side, very easy to apply and implement. Because it doesn't tell you what to do, it tells you how to develop, how to make sustainable what you are already doing. So this certification, because the COVID was a different time, at the beginning we had to stop because no one was aware how this is transferred from one person to the other. So the buffets were either closed, table service, or the staff were serving. And with the ease of the COVID, the hotels also asked to go back because the guests are willing to have this service, and it's not easy for the hotels to employ that many people to serve. It's not easy when the hotel is 100% full capacity. So with the sustainability, with this criteria, we are not going to tell you if you can continue or not continue the buffet service, but you need to measure the waste food, you need to show how you are reusing the leftovers, where your food is coming from, is it local? So it's all about developing your efforts and your existing service. It's not like throwing this away if it is not produced with the sustainability measurements. It is to keep it, to try to make it sustainable. If not, when you are buying a new one, then choose the sustainable one, choose the environmental friendly one. So we are very much satisfied, and also we had several sessions with the hotelier associations, different representatives. We presented them the criteria because at the beginning they had also concerns how we can make all the hotels sustainable in 1 year time. We can say that it is possible with the GSTC criteria because we are not going to tell people to change things while it is existing. Just when replacing it to buy the good one, or when doing the business to control if it is the ideal way to do it. It includes also, we were talking about the woman in power and all those employees, the staff working hours, everything is within the criteria. You have to be conscious while you are doing what you were doing. So it is actually not going to tell to have a buffet, but you have to have a responsible buffet.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I think we are out of time, and let's not keep increasing the... so thank you so much.
Thank you very much.